Good afternoon, Palm Coast and Flagler County. My name is Greg Blose, President and CEO of the Palm Coast-Flagler Regional Chamber, and I'm here today to present to you our August 2021 President's Report on behalf of the Chamber. If you have not visited our website yet, go to Palm Coast-Flagler Regional Chamber.com, and on that webpage you can find a version of this, which is the Florida scorecard. So where does Flagler County stand in terms of employment metrics? Well, first thing we know from the latest unemployment report is that the number of unemployed residents in Flagler County has increased by about 500 people month over month. And the reason for this is because more people are coming into the labor force and job growth cannot keep up with the increase in folks coming to the labor force, unfortunately. And as a result of that, we have an increase not only in the number of unemployed people, but also in the unemployment rate. Last month, it was 5.1%, and in July 2021, this jumped from 5.1 to 6%. And here on the left, you can see what that looks like in Flagler County, one of the higher numbers we've had this year, unfortunately, but the economy is kind of restarting in fits and starts as we try to exit the COVID pandemic. Emphasis on trying to exit it. Wanted to share with you here that a couple months ago, the Chamber created the Return to Work program, at least the local version of it. It was rolled out originally statewide by the Florida Department of Economic Opportunity, and we latched on here locally, urging people to get back to work if they have been sitting on the sidelines waiting for COVID to clear up. So that was a couple of months ago. And when the Chamber got together with CareerSource and said, hey, let's try to get folks back to work, plug them in, let them know they're open jobs, because employers are increasingly talking about the difficulty in hiring qualified employees to return to work. So the good news is that our effort is working on one side of it, which is nearly 1,200 people have rejoined the labor force since we began our initiative along with CareerSource Volusia Flagler. The downside is when we looked at job creation and growth this month, it only resulted in 16 new jobs here in Flagler County. So let's talk about the state of Florida for a moment. Here's what that growth looks like. Florida non-farm jobs, seasonally adjusted. Here you can see pre-pandemic, 9 million jobs throughout the state of Florida. That dropped down to 7.8 million in the basement of the pandemic, if you will. So Florida lost 1.2 million jobs during the pandemic, and now we're starting to fight our way out of that job loss now with coming up on 8.7 million jobs here throughout the state of Florida. Here's what that number looks like in terms of month-over-month job changes. We've got 206,200 new jobs recovered in the first month of 2021. So once again, similar to the last chart, you can see the depths of the pandemic here and how the Florida economy has tried to claw back, creating jobs month over month in an effort to get back to pre-pandemic employment levels. Wanted to share with you this slide, job loss by category. So it's always good to know where the jobs are coming from and which industries are creating jobs and which industries still have not recovered fully from the pandemic. And so here you see the job loss by category from February 2020 to June 2021. Leisure and hospitality still has not even come close to recovering the jobs lost during the pandemic, down nearly 17% since February of 2020. And that in contrast to categories like financial activities, which now has exceeded pre-pandemic employment levels, and construction, which is just around the corner from breaking through that barrier as well. So the economy in terms of recovering from the global pandemic is not all recovering together at the same rate. Some industries are doing better than others, as indicated here. Now, the reason why leisure and hospitality is important is because that's where about 20% of all jobs exist here in Flagler County. So we want to see those jobs come back. If they're not going to come back, then those folks in the leisure and hospitality business will be looking for new and innovative ways to solve the employee shortage problem, presumably using technology and other features to make up for services lost by people not willing to take those jobs, or by the fact that those jobs can't be supported by a rebound in the economy yet. So that'll be interesting to keep a watch of here, specifically in Flagler County. Next slide, I wanted to show you what the job changes looked like from February 2020 to June 2021. This is a heat map. So the darker the red, the worse the job losses have been. What we have here is 39 Florida counties have more jobs in February of 2020 than less jobs. So a majority of the counties in Florida have recovered from the pandemic in terms of total job growth. 28 counties have not. And Flagler County is one of those 28 counties that have not recovered jobs that have been lost since February of 2020. Here you can see in Flagler County, we're still down over 750 jobs in Flagler County. That's 1.6% of all jobs. And we're still fighting to break through to the positive side of job creation. Now, if you look to the north of us and even to the west, here in Putnam County, they have more jobs than before the pandemic. St. Johns County, significantly more jobs than they lost during the pandemic, and so on and so forth up the coast. Now, when you go down, Volusia is in a similar position to us percentage-wise. We're at 1.6, they're at 1.4% of total jobs lost. But Flagler County is in the minority. And it's important, and this chamber is going to do this, that in times when the data suggests that we're lagging behind and not doing so well, we have to point those out. And other times when we're doing really well, we'll continue to point that out too. But the numbers simply don't support the idea that Flagler's economic recovery from the pandemic recession has not fully been realized yet. Moving along, I wanted to talk about what's been going on in the last month here at the Palm Coast-Flagler Chamber. Obviously, David Alfin winning the election as Palm Coast mayor was a big deal community-wide. For us here at the Chamber, David was one of the original gentlemen that stepped forward and said, hey, I'm willing to do what it takes to start a Chamber of Commerce, and this community needs a Chamber of Commerce. So personally, I'm biased about David's win, but hopefully the community can move on, and we can gain some consensus, communicate about what the important priorities are for different groups in the community, and try to move forward together. Also, the chamber, you may have noticed, urged businesses to consider having their employees wear masks indoors if you have the public coming into your place of business. And this is because of the CDC recommendations. If you want to learn more about that, go to our website, Palm Coast-Flagler Regional Chamber.com, and click on the news tab, and you can download our most recent webinar where you will see the chamber's legal and health experts coming on talking about what's happening with the COVID Delta variant and why it's important for businesses to consider taking action. Also wanted to share that we continue to make progress on revising the land development code to include marinas in Flagler County. Some of you who are watching this, I've already talked to you about the importance of marinas here in this waterfront community that we live in. So we'll continue to follow that and make sure that we can continue to grow our marine industry here in Flagler County as we look to the future. Also, the FPL Florida Resource Partners solar field begins its approval process through the Board of County Commissioners. The Chamber of Commerce fully supports the development of the solar field here in Flagler County. If you'd like to learn more about that, again, the Chamber website, and click the news tab. Last thing is we have been meeting extensively with individuals we have coalitions with, organizations that we have coalitions with, and especially with elected officials and staff members. I think there's a big signal, there's a big shift in Flagler County politics here with David Alfin as being mayor, and a lot of folks are willing to seemingly come to the table and try to figure out things and be proactive about what's happening in Flagler County. I couldn't be happier about that type of effort and positive attitude. And so we'll continue to be a supporting partner of that, and look forward to helping strengthen not only the city of Palm Coast, but also the county and Flagler Beach and the city of Bunnell and Beverly Beach and Marineland, and really try to get everyone in Flagler County pulling in the same direction on the issues that matter most to all of us. So we'll continue that conversation for another day. In the meantime, I invite you to learn more about the Chamber at www.palmcoastflaglerregionalchamber.com.